In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hippies and straights around the world. This is your old buddy, Dr. Woody John Konapak, down in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with another installment of Dr. Woody's fascinating, fabulous Factoids. And today we're going to discuss the Pious Pinheads. With all the fabled falderall of Thanksgiving on the horizon, these days you cannot swing a cat without bumping up against some despicable revisionist spouting history propagated by the pious pinheads of the whack-loon fundy Christo right. David Barton, anyone? The charlatans are everywhere. The latest to join the fray is that pious idiot, the AFA's Tony Perkins, who was out last week in advance of the seasonal remembrances, spreading the falsehoods about the religious origins of the USA and of the colonists fleeing oppression, seeking freedom in the New World. Perkins claimed that the Puritans' departure from Europe to seek religious freedom in the New World presages and authorizes their contemporary right to deny birth control, among other things, to the population in general because it offends their principles. No, I am not making this up. I have attached the link to the comments below. The story of the Puritans is one of the most cherished and most abused myths of our colonial era. Even though the lies are embedded in the national exceptionality narrative, somebody, I think, needs to instruct the holy dickwads and fuck-witted cretinous preachers that only a small fraction of the earliest colonists came to the New World for religious reasons. One of the original 10 colonies, and there were only 10, only those in New England were founded by the Puritan, the religious zealots. The majority of the rest of the colonists came for the chance to make a buck or a pound or a guilder by exploiting the New World and its residents. They were a population, in the words of a contemporary observer, of murderers, thieves, adulterers, and idle persons. Such a description indeed fit the vast majority of all of our first citizens. And those religious zealots, the pilgrims who left Europe only because it afforded them the opportunity to practice religious exclusionism, they settled in the New England colonies. The Puritans could not abide living in communities with those who were not of their particular primitive fundamentalist persuasion. They expelled those whom they could and fled from the rest. They were exiled by themselves, self-exiled in Britain, settled in Holland, where they were deemed too reactionary even for the tolerant Dutch, and were forced thereafter to migrate to the New World, where everyone profoundly hoped they would just die out. The religious history of the colonies is part and parcel of the same exceptionalist propaganda which has polluted our national discourse for more than 200 years. So let's be clear here. Religious freedom provided only the slightest impetus to the colonization of the East Coast outside of Massachusetts and Connecticut. And that's fundamentally dishonest to pretend otherwise. History lesson closed. See you at the beach, shares.